Okay, here we are, another Saturday, another episode of Melanin Vibes. Welcome, everyone. I'll wait a few minutes, give you guys a chance to get in here. It's going to be a great show today. I know this has been a rough week for some of us, if not all of us, but I just want to say, we still have to keep pressing forward, still keep moving forward, keep doing all that we can to combat systemic racism in America. I'm praying for everyone out there in the protests and praying for everyone out there at home. It's been some pretty trying times for us in 2020. We've got a pandemic. We had an earthquake this week out here in LA, so that's always exciting and fun. On top of Corona and everything else, the police have been doing their job in terrorizing protesters. So I always got that to look forward to. But this is not gonna be a political show at all. But I do real quick while we're just waiting for some more people to jump in here. I do want to put this up real quick. If you have an opportunity, donate to the NAACP, Campaign Zero, or Color of Change. Those are three national organizations that I personally support. And I just feel like everybody at this point, if you can't get out and protest, you can do your part in some way by passing the word. And that's exactly what we're doing with Melanin Vibes. It was before all of this started. The purpose of this show was to shed a light and bring awareness to mental and emotional health issues that we have in the African American community. A lot of times we don't talk about those issues. So this is talking about doing preventative measures. So welcome to the show. If you have not seen any of the past episodes, please go back and check them out. You're in for a treat. We have an amazing guest today, a young woman, young woman who I know from my days at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Carmen James is an amazing coach, mentor, activist, mother. She's an amazing human being. So she is our guest today, and she is the owner of Fit Bella Vei. Carmen, hi, boo.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Okay, well, welcome. So how's things going over in Michigan? You're in Michigan, right?
Yep, they're going pretty good. I'm in Kalamazoo specifically, and we've had, for the most part, peaceful protests. We had, I think the first night it was pretty crazy, but other than that, I think one of the biggest issues besides COVID, they had a youthful protest yesterday for the youth, organized for the youth. That was great. And then now these mosquitoes and ticks are crazy this season. So it's always
Yeah,
something
there's mosquitoes out here and we don't normally see them in LA. Like everything
Really?
is going crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful. But welcome to the show. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy that you are my guest today because I remember when this was just an idea.
Yeah.
Fit Bella Vei.
Yeah.
And you have come, like, I've been watching you from a distance, and I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished and what
Thank
you've
you.
been doing. But before I jump into telling about your story, what we do here on Melanin Vibes is we try to, bring some positivity, some light, do some fun things for women
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
color in our
Hmm.
community because we're business women, we're active, we're always doing stuff, but we don't think of, take a minute for ourselves. So I like to start the show off with a little segment called Thinking Backs Are Thankful. So, Carmen, can you tell the viewers what is one thing that you're thankful for today?
Always the first thing that comes to mind is love. I'm thankful for love, to receive it,
Mhm.
um, the ability to feel it. So I'm very thankful for love on a daily basis.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great thing to be thankful for. I'm
Mhm.
thankful, for life today. That I woke
Mhm.
up this morning, and I know a lot of times we take that for granted, but today I'm
Mhm.
very thankful with everything going on that I am up, moving and breathing and able to function.
Yeah.
So, Fit Bella Vei. Tell us a little bit about your company.
So you actually helped me start it. I told you about a vision.
Me?
Oh my gosh. And
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
2012. And you were like, let's just do it. And I was like, what? And you were like, I'll get you a tax ID. You registered me with the federal government, and we came up with a name, and I reviewed it with you. And then you went with me on my first photo shoot, which are photos I still use for my marketing.
Those photos were great.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you really helped cultivate my vision and help bring it into fruition. So I am forever indebted for that time that you took and believing in me. So that was wonderful. So it started because I was always active in high school and college, and I cheered in college, and then I coached in college and into adulthood for 8 years. And then I kind of got tired of that type of platform, even though I loved mentoring the girls. So I started group fitness mostly with Zumba, and then I started into personal training. And so I was always one of the healthier people. So people in high school used to make fun of me because I used to opt out of a salad, pizza, and get salad instead, stuff like that. And just it made me feel better when I ate right. You know, I didn't feel as well when I didn't eat things that were so productive. But also, I knew the power of exercise and eating healthy and how it made me feel in terms of my mental health. And I had a daughter with special needs, and I knew with all of the stress of having a child with special needs, and then I had her sister, which was 2 years younger than her, having that load in my 20s was heavy. So faith was definitely very important. Family support was also important, but also exercise. It helped support my mental health as I went through the journeys of life, just, you know, the ebbs and sways of life. So I wanted to help and inspire other people, people as a whole, but women especially, because we tend not to really take care of ourselves. We're always trying to take care of everybody else. And I'm still guilty of trying to find that healthy balance of taking care of myself and being there for everybody else. So I know that fitness, health, wellness, that whole mind, body, spirit, collectively helps us feel better, and it helps us be even better providers and lovers to all of those people that we care about.
That's right, 100%. And that's why today's topic is Inside Out, how fitness and nutrition affect our mental health. And I have a question for you. So, how does our mental health affect our food choices?
So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. If you are, for instance, sugar, it gives you an immediate boost of feel good hormones, serotonin, norepinephrine. So you crave it. You crave it. You crave food. You crave comfort food. You crave food that is less healthy because it gives you an immediate satisfaction as soon as you ingest it and eat it. But it's the after effect. So it's like a vicious cycle. So then you eat like that, and then you feel bad about eating like that. And then the weight shows up. So then you're upset about the weight. So then you're feeling bad. So then you eat bad again. I hate to use the word bad with food, though, just because I know that food, I really like to use the word productive and non-productive. So is the food going to help energize you? It's going to help you with longevity. That's productive food. Non-productive is taking your energy. It's not going to help you live a long life. It's not going to support your mental health. So yeah, it's a vicious cycle. Definitely.
Okay. Okay. And I know sometimes, like I've heard the term stress eating before. Sometimes when we're under stress, like I'm the opposite. And I've had to learn and recognize, like when I'm under stress, that's when I'm not eating enough. A few months ago, I posted about just like how I had some challenges with, health and nutrition. And it was definitely tied into more of my mental and emotional wellness that I was not taking care of. But I didn't connect the two. And I even had someone respond to me and say like, oh, I thought you were working out. I feel so bad that I didn't know that you were going through. But it's not something that you recognize either.
Right. It's very true. Stress eating. So I'm like you are. So, and it depends on the stressor too. If it's a broken heart, then I tend not to eat as much.
Mm-hmm.
Grief, which is kind of a broken heart, I tend not to eat as much. Other stress, like you're just staying super busy, then that's when I tend to make, choices that aren't as productive. But yeah, stress eating, and there's stress relief in terms of chewing. So chewing it helps with relieve stress. So constantly eating,
Ah,
it helps to relieve stress. So chewing,
interesting.
yeah, chewing gum is helpful. And, some people chew on ice, which isn't probably best for your teeth, but it's definitely healthier for your body. But yeah, finding something, popcorn is great. Veggies are crunchy, carrots. So finding a way that you can chew, but just be more productive in your choice. So
Yeah, making better choices.
yeah,
That's a good thing. So, another question, because also like in our community, we don't really talk about, like, we talk about overeating, we talk about obesity, but we don't
mhm,
talk about the other side, that sometimes in the African American community women deal with, which is, bulimia, anorexia, over exercising, doing
mhm,
too much. Is it
mhm.
possible to over exercise when we're stressed?
Absolutely. And I've done it before. And I got,
Hmm. You got sick?
oh yeah, yeah, like literally. So it does the opposite. So exercise helps boost your immune system. Well, when you're over exercising and your central nervous system is already like shot because you're stressed out, and then you're over exercising, that one, usually what is good stress then becomes actually non-good stress. So when you notice that your stress level is really high and maybe you have high anxiety, you actually want to scale back a little bit rather than go harder. So go for walks, do more things like yoga, like a bunch of HIIT training and hard runs and heavy lifting and things that really break down your muscles, which requires you to sleep well. So if you're high stress and you're not sleeping well, your body repairs itself while you're sleeping, your mental health, your physical health. So if you're not getting good sleep and you're going hard with your exercise and you're over exercising, you're actually tearing your immune system down, because not
Mm,
system is trying to fight off pathogens on a daily basis, as well as trying to rebuild all of the good damage that you did while you were exercising. So yes, you can not eat enough, which is not good, and you can over exercise when you are feeling stressed. Absolutely.
so what would you recommend to someone, like, how did you recognize that you were over exercising?
I was getting sick. I wasn't feeling good. I was taking 2 to 3 days to recover. I was energy drained. So, for instance, it was recent because I have a 19-month-old son, and I was still breastfeeding. I was working my 40-hour-a-week job, and I was still hosting classes regularly. And I would try to go really hard in the classes, work out when I wasn't, and it would hit me where I would have to sit down and not do much of anything for about 3 or 4 days after one exercise session. And I was
Mm,
deprived because he was still in our bed. So I was creating too much stress on my body in too many different areas, and my body was not able to sustain itself. So what I had to do is scale back, and it was really hard for me. Especially, I noticed that people who have been athletic or exercise regularly in the past, it's hard because we know our potential. We know how we once were able to handle the amount of exercise, and
mm-hmm.
to jump back in and be like, oh, I have to squat with 2 5-pound weights, like what? Or you know what I mean? Like I can't do a bunch of jump squats and sprints in between my exercises. Like, so it's relearning and respecting and listening to your body, which can be very difficult, but it's really important to recognize the signs, which means that you're not energized. It's actually the opposite. Um,
Mm.
you might be having some aches and pains that you normally didn't. So that's important. Instead of it making you really feel good, it starts to make you kind of feel down. So that's important too. So those are some ways to be able to tell that you're over exercising when you stop benefiting and seeing those major benefits that come with it.
Great, thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
like, what if, so for some of us, we're novices and we haven't worked out. We're just now getting into the nutrition, which, this is a topic that I really want to talk about because with COVID, we're being affected at a higher rate. And
Mhm.
that's definitely due to predisposed issues and unhealthy choices and
Mhm.
what we put into our bodies in inactivity. So,
Mhm.
how do you go about starting a healthy nutrition plan? Like, what
Okay.
what what would be the first steps? Like, would you say there's any one particular, I don't want to say diet, I don't like that word, but meal plan that's
Mhm.
easy for the beginner?
I think behavior change is not easy for anyone. But what I do, my rule of thumb is add first before you subtract. So
Okay.
before you start trying to say, I'm not going to eat any fried chicken, I'm not going to eat meat, I'm not going to eat sugar, I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to eat that, look at your diet and see what it is missing. Look at your lifestyle and see what it's missing. So
Mm,
I do a ton of 14-day challenges. I try to do one every month, depending on traction and how many people buy in. But um, I say add first. So instead of looking at look at your big picture and you notice, oh, I don't eat vegetables even every day. So add vegetables. Add vegetables to one meal a day, and then 2 meals a day, and then 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day. Oh, I'm not drinking enough water, just plain water. I need to add water to my diet. Add water to your diet. Oh, I'm not moving enough. I'm too inactive. I need to add movement. I'm going to walk twice a week for 10, 15 minutes. Add exercise. So before you start subtracting, add first. The human mind likes to see that before it likes to see subtracting because we have a natural way of just being rebellious in terms of
mm,
just our that's just in our nature to be rebellious, to push it against the grain. So when you tell me I can't have it, I crave it and want it more. So once
right.
you start to establish some healthier habits, then start eliminating and challenging yourself on elimination within boundaries. So say, I'm not going to have fried chicken this week and stick to that. And once you feel like, man, I accomplished it, man, I added these things, man, I'm feeling better about myself. Then again, that's a good cycle that you start to basically validate yourself, So
Mm,
it's affirming. So yes, add things, and don't, Instagram is wonderful. It can be motivating. Facebook, all these other platforms that have all these people doing all these creative exercises and what have you. Realistically, you don't need to do all that. You need to get up and move. Our bodies are made to be upright. Our bodies are made to walk. Our ancestors walk. People in third world countries that are not suffering from tons of disease, a lot of them are still living longer than Americans because we are so conditioned to sit, and we're so conditioned to all these luxuries and this instant gratification that we have, that we're not
yeah.
moving our bodies properly. We're not feeding our bodies properly. So we are meant to be upright most of the time unless we're at rest. So we need to move more.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Are there any other tips or things that you would add before we move on to the next segment? Just letting people know that, I mean, how hard is it to really incorporate fitness and healthy nutrition into our lives? Because a
I
lot of
think it's
people will say it's expensive. That would be the first thing that I hear from a lot of people. Expensive. So, any tips that you can give our viewers?
Yeah, people say it's expensive, but what's more expensive? Is it going to be healthcare, health costs, or is it going to be paying the money up front to invest in your health ahead of time? It's like an insurance.
Mm,
Um, and I'd rather eat canned vegetables than no vegetables at all. So canned vegetables are not that expensive. Start there. Start somewhere where your body can really thrive and really um, benefit from what you're feeding it. Because at the end of the day, if you're not around, to me it's not worth it. And everybody views what they value differently. But I think health is wealth. I think when you're healthy, that is a blessing in itself. So I would encourage people to find creative ways, find reasons rather than excuses not to. I saw this, and I know we've had a rough week, like you said. So we were talking about the riots and why are people doing this and why are people doing that. Instead of looking at the what they're doing, look at the why. And it's the same thing with investing in your health. Instead of how much it costs and what it costs, look at why you need to invest in it. So yeah, I think that's just some added tips. No, some veggies is better than none. Beans, you can buy dried beans and throw up a big slab of smoked turkey in there and get some white rice and cook some white rice, and you can eat off that for 3 or 4 days and feed a lot of people for little to nothing. So it's just about being creative. And again, that's that first world issue. We're so used to instant gratification, things coming easy, fast food. When you can get it fast, it typically isn't good for you. And that's a rule of thumb in everything in life.
That is true. That is so true. That is so true.
Mhm.
You know what? You're a mom. So how do you encourage your children to eat healthy? Because they see and hear so many different things like McDonald's and all of this stuff. Like how do you encourage healthy choices with your children?
So my 12-year-old, she can be a little stickler, and even my 19-month-old, he's been a little more challenging lately. But when I started, I'm the example. So me. So when I'm the example, is not do as I say, they're gonna do as I do. So they're looking at me, and I know a lot of people are like, well, the kids need snacks. Well, get them snacks that are only healthy. You don't have to bring cookies and chips into the house. You don't have to bring donuts into the house. You go and buy that stuff. Buy some popcorn, buy some carrots, buy some celery sticks, buy some peanut butter. You can eat bread, buy some bread, buy some jelly. Cheez-Its, goldfish crackers, things like that. You don't have to buy the sweets and all that other stuff as a snacks for kids. Buy the Go-Go Squeeze, the little applesauce packages. Buy fruit and try to buy fruit that's in season so that you don't feel like you're spending a ton of money. When it's in season, it's usually less expensive. So don't bring it into the house is what I say. Because yeah.
I agree with you. No, I mean, I grew up in a no candy, no junk food household, so my eating habits they got unhealthy as I became an adult and had more choices, but I naturally craved fruits and vegetables.
Right.
Like that's something that I like to snack on because that was something that was given to me. And so, I mean, I'm not a mother right now, but I wanted to hear from a mother's standpoint. Like I'm glad you said that. Don't bring it into the house because that's how I feel. Like if they don't know it exists, they're not missing anything really.
No.
So yeah, and it's important to make sure that our kids are eating healthy because it plays a huge part in our health, in our wellness, and in their long-term their longevity for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, wonderful. So we have this little segment called Holistic Health, and we like our guests to give an alternative method, a practice that you participate in, but that you would recommend for the viewers to try. So for today, what would you recommend for us?
So I know we talked and you said a lot of people recommend meditation. And for a long time until recently, meditation just was not working for me. It was not working for me. Like shutting my brain down was more of a chore than probably gaining the actual benefit from it. So what I started with was living in gratitude. What does that mean? Write 3 things you're grateful for every morning before you touch your cell phone, unless you're going to write it or text it to somebody else. So my mom and my brother and sister, we did a 40-day gratitude text thread. And every single day we listed 5 things we were grateful for, right around Lent into Easter and a little bit beyond Easter. So it was 40 full days, in representation of,
Right.
the behind it. So what I would say is living in gratitude. Just like you started your segment, maybe set it for 3 or set it for 5. And that's one of the things we have to do in my 14-day challenge. Everybody, every single day is supposed to state 3 things that they're grateful for. And it literally changes your frame of thinking. It starts your in gratitude. There's science behind it. There's science behind pouring positivity into your mind. Another thing I would tell people, and I know this is biblical, but outside of being biblical, I would tell people to guard your mind.
Yeah.
If you're watching a ton of stuff with high action, violence, killing, people dying, people having these defeated stories, your subconscious mind is soaking that in.
Yes.
Sleep at night, all that stuff. People talk about weird dreams. Our subconscious mind is like an airplane's black box. So everything that you've ever heard, seen, smelled, touched, any type of stimulation, your brain has stored it. So that
right.
That you're pouring into your subconscious mind everything that you view, the music that you listen to. And it doesn't have to be holier than thou stuff, or it doesn't even have to be, for people who aren't believers, I like to be inclusive for everybody. Or they might practice something different than you
right.
are, Adrienne. But guard your mind. Like if you feel like you're down and out, like Dante, my partner, he knows that when I have high anxiety, which I do suffer from depression and high anxiety and, grief and loss from losing my daughter, that I can't watch his action movies with him. It's just, I can't deal with it at the time. I can't watch anything with a bunch of blood and gore, a bunch of people crying, a bunch of, even sometimes like Grey's Anatomy. Sometimes I just can't handle it. Even Scandal, I had to step away from before. Do I love the shows? Yes. So it would be like, oh, but then after a while, I started feeling yucky. Just like they said, stop reading so much of the news. So guard your mind, live in gratitude. First thing in the morning, write down what you're grateful for. And if you're feeling like you're depressed or like you've been down recently, guard your mind and fill it with positivity. Look for funny videos. Call somebody that you know will have you in stitches, cracking up, laughing. Go for walks. It does not have to be, and even for moms, I pop my baby in the stroller and sometimes I make my 12-year-old come with us and walk. It does not have to be a heavy push and a heavy walk for it to benefit you mentally or physically. It takes 12 minutes of active movement to benefit you mentally. 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12 minutes. Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, I'm going to keep that in my head now every day. That'll make me get up out there. 12 minutes.
Yeah. 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. There's really not a lot of time.
No, and really, I mean, I love walking, just putting on the headphones. And that's the thing like that made me start getting walking further was finding something really exciting to listen to. So I'll put on TD Jakes or I'll put on Super Soul Sunday. Just put on my headphones because I know it's going to be at least an hour, and I just walk because like I'm so caught up into what I'm listening to, into my spirit, and then before you know it, it's like, okay, I've walked like a mile. It's great.
Yeah,
it's just doing it every day. That's the hard thing, finding time for it every day. Well, thank you for those things. So right now we want to have a little section called Bohemian Vibes. And for our viewers, if you do not know, I have Bag of Vibes here. These intention decks are available on my website at bohemianvibes.com. But we're going to pull a card today, and our guest, Miss Carmen James, is going to talk about it. And you mentioned it earlier, so it's so funny that this is the card I pulled. So the card is faith. It's the card that we're discussing today. And the quote says, when you're battling depression, just being able to throw away the first negative thought, now that's a leap of faith. So it's so funny that we pulled this because it ties all into what we were talking about. But for Bohemian Vibes, it says 3 things I know for sure. So Miss James, 3 things you know for sure.
3 things that I know for sure. I know that I'm loved. I know that that's a tricky question. I know for sure. I know that I am faith-filled, and I know how I feel in the present moment.
Okay. There we go. There we go. And the idea for this card, like all of these in the intention deck, I created this at a time when I was low in my life. And so
Mhm.
I like to consider myself the strong friend. So this little bag of vibes I created, kind of like this is my buddy that I carry with me when you're having a down moment or when you're depressed or you're not feeling good, you pull a card and this kind of it does that. It makes you think and take a
Mhm.
moment. So I'm not focused on the negative. I have to focus on the positive. I have to focus on where I am right now. And the next section on this says thinking backs are thankful. So to all of our guests, I would recommend that you list 3 things you know for sure. And the action item today is stop and have a conversation with someone less fortunate and practice your active listening skills with them. So
Mhm.
that's what I would recommend to everyone, because it just kind of it gives you perspective
Mhm.
that things are not always as bad as they seem. I mean, once you
Right.
sit down and hear someone else's story and you know what they're going through, then it helps you to also see, like, I can get through this. I'm
Mhm.
going to get through this. And again, things are not as bad as they seem.
Right. Mhm.
So I am. This is our section where we just love to affirm ourselves as African American. So, Carmen, just one affirmation statement of I am. I am,
I am resilient.
yes, you are. And I
Mhm.
am strong. That
Mhm.
is my statement today. I am
Yeah.
strong. I
I
am
was,
strong.
I was, it was, I was trying to teeter between those two. So thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
But we are, I mean, I think as Black women, we kind of, women in general, like we take it all on and we carry the load of our families and we don't get the recognition and the kudos that we probably deserve, but we
Right.
still do it anyway. And I think that's
Mhm.
because of our hearts. We have that nurturing, mothering heart to keep doing it anyway. And that's
Wow.
really why I created this show. Like I wanted just to make sure that we have a place to kind of check in and, focus on you for a moment. So
Mhm.
our last section is check on your strong friend because we know that we are strong women and we may not reach out. We also have, I find that our circles tend to look just like us. So I'm in a circle full of strong women. So sometimes you've got to check on that girlfriend and say, hey, sis, you good?
Right.
So who's that strong friend you want to check on today?
Um, I was just with her, but I would always say Regina. I mean, she's always,
I love Regina.
I know, right?
Everybody loves
uh,
Regina.
strong for everybody. So,
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
mhm.
100%. So let me see. My strong friend today, who do I want to check in on? I think I will pick. Hmm. Interesting. It's a ton of them. I will pick my cousin Maisha. She is a trooper. She is battling cancer. We don't talk about it a lot, but she is an ongoing battle, and she is running a business. She's the mother of 3 teenagers and teaching school, doing all kinds of things. And I haven't heard from her in a while, so I think I'm going to give her a call today, check on her, make sure that she's doing good, because I know
Mhm.
we tend to always carry that load and not reach out.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that is all for my show today. So Carmen, do you want to
Yay.
tell our watchers, our viewers, how to get in contact with you and what are some of the services you offer?
Sure. So my website, and thank you for running that underneath here, Adrienne. My website needs to be completely reconstructed. So I have not been 100% Fit Bella Vei since going back to work, having Drew, um, where that's once what I was only doing. So, but you can still reach out there. I do still get emails if people inquire about my service. But I think Facebook is the best way. Carmen's Fit Bella Vei. So it's Fit Bella Vei, just like it's spelled down at the bottom there. And it's on Facebook. You can add me, like it. You can message me there. I'm also on Instagram, Fit Bella Vei, same thing. and Gmail too. fitbellavei@gmail.com. So it's the very same name pretty much for everything. Very easy to get in contact with me on those 3 different platforms. So.
Okay. And for those who are not local, do you do virtual consultations?
I mean, everything's virtual now, so I don't have to be anywhere near you. I think sometimes being in person is a lot more exciting, and different challenges that come with it. But yes, like even my challenges that I have on Facebook, the challenges that I run, anyone across the world that can tap into Facebook can be a part of the challenge. So I think that is probably one of my prized possessions right now, just because it's so intimate and it's so effective in terms of pushing and promoting a lifestyle change, a happier, healthier lifestyle overall. So, yep.
Great. Thank you. Do you have any last words for our viewers?
Just tell people, I love to tell people, just be gentle with yourself, but also hold yourself accountable. This journey of life is not easy. It is hard. And finding your tribe and surrounding yourself with people and things that ignite the life that you want to have and support that life. That was in one of my devotional readings this morning, is about friend selection and people that you choose to be around, because that is also very contagious. Having friends that pray with you, if you believe in prayer, or will support you on your positive walk or whatever, is really important. So just, again, guard your mind, surround yourself with people who really help support where you want to be, and but also love and accept you for who you are. Have grace for yourself, hold yourself accountable, and live in gratitude. It helps.
Well, thank you once again, Carmen James. I appreciate you, and I am so proud of the work that you're doing and how far you've come. So keep going.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, you take care and be well.
All right. Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Okay, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of our show. And just before we head out of here, I just want to put this up one last time. There we go. Donate to the NAACP, Campaign Zero, and Color of Change at any time. You can do a $5, $10, anything counts, anything helps. Make a donation, join the cause. We need everyone. Don't forget to vote, register your friends and family to vote. We need every vote. Every vote counts. Next week, my guest will be Latoya Brown. She's a community resource facilitator, and she's a bundle of joy and a great personality. But before we head out, one last time, Carmen James of Fit Bella Vei. So follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and get those bodies in tip-top shape. Thank you for watching. Be well.